2024 was a pretty good year for movies. Nothing groundbreaking, but it was pretty good. And so instead of, because I was looking at my thoughts on the movies of 2024, and, nothing insanely unique to say. So, I'm a reviewer of the people. I'm not going to bore you with all these just one note, cookie cutter reviews. So we're going to do these in threes. And so let's start with Wicked, Alien Romulus, and Nosferatu, because these three have something in common that I appreciated, but I do have some thoughts on them as well. So let's jump into these. So with Wicked, I was hesitant first off because it was a part one of two, and the movie was 2 hours and 40 minutes. And so I was like, is it going to be bloated? Are we going to have another Hobbit situation?
Why does it hurt so much?
Because it was.
So that was objection number one. Objection number two, the transition from musical to movie sometimes works, sometimes doesn't, but most of the time it does not.
Everyone has Ace!
And so that was another strike against it, me being very hesitant to see it. So the last thing that gave me pause from watching this film, at least in theaters, were the reports of, and the Instagram stories and the TikToks of people singing along to the movie, which, the theater's a sacred experience. I don't get to go enough because it's so expensive and I'm so busy. So when I do get to go, that's the last thing I want, is somebody talking, let alone singing. And who's singing in a crowded theater? Theater kids, yes. You know the types. They want attention, but they think the world's against them. They need to express themselves and can't help it, and that's your problem, not theirs. Yeah, those are the people who are ruining these showings of Wicked, or who have ruined showings of Wicked. And Wicked is definitely their flagship musical. It gives them everything. It's about an outsider, and the music's so poppy and inspirational and uplifting that they just can't help themselves. They have to sing. Look at these examples from TikTok. Come on.
Oh my God, I'm so nervous. Here goes nothing. Hold it.
Most of you, I believe there is peace and perhaps more waiting for you after the smoke clears. Although for one of you, the darkest pit of hell has opened to swallow you whole. So don't keep the devil waiting, friend.
So thankfully, I was able to hit an early matinee to avoid any disasters. So while I'm watching a movie, these freaks are working at Starbucks. It was a good time. I was able to watch the movie in peace and quiet and avoid any confrontation that would have happened.
Look at Randy Orton slithering.
Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out!
And director John Chu deserves a lot of praise. His vision and melding all these different elements together, from the visuals, the acting, everything just came together so well. And most of all, the pacing. 2 hours and 40 minutes flew by, and only a true talent could pull that off. Props to him. And the obvious standout was Cynthia Erivo. She was incredible. Her singing was amazing. Ariana Grande can't even come close. That's how good she was. It felt like a whirlwind. She was singing phenomenal. Acting amazing. Hit every emotional beat effortlessly. And if she doesn't win something, I'll fight you. She has to win something. She was that good. And the last kudos I'll give this film are the background dancers and the extras. For some reason, they were so involved in the way they interacted with Elphaba and Glinda and everybody else. They were just into it. And these are theater kids. 100%. This isn't your normal background dancer who's been doing Rent for the past 8 years. No, these are those theater kids who, in high school, when they did Beauty and the Beast, they'd be like, let me be the spoon. I'll be a spoon, or I'll dance in the aisles as a napkin, or, we're doing Into the Woods. Let me be the woods, please. Those are the type of theater kids. They brought the enthusiasm that I love, and this film, just in general, and it gets a solid A. Almost leaning towards A+, but so good. Highly recommend. Believe the hype. And what can I say about Alien Romulus that hasn't already been said ad nauseum? The first 30 to 45 minutes are fantastic. Then after that, once everybody's dead, it's kind of boring and you don't really care and the stakes just really aren't there. Sure, I mean, the face hugger jumping, you have to run through the hall and the face huggers are jumping scenes cool. The alien blood and the anti-gravity scenes pretty cool. But beyond that, it's just, I mean, Red Letter Media said it best. That this film feels like you gave an AI the task to write the script and they had to incorporate elements from all of the Alien movies plus a lot of callbacks. And the AI, not knowing context for that, just spits out this movie where you get lines like this.
Get away from her. You bitch.
Do you remember? 'Cause I remember. So yeah, Alien Romulus, it's okay. It's entertaining if you like the Alien films. If not, like I said, it's fine to meh. C-. Next, we have the latest offering from Robert Eggers, which is Nosferatu. Robert Eggers, Bobby Eggs, is my favorite director working today. He's made some of my favorite films. I mean, The Witch, my favorite horror movie of all time, hands down. The Lighthouse, give it 2 viewings. The first time I was like, okay. Second time I was like, yes, this is a masterpiece. Loved it the second time. Lighthouse is great. The Northman, epic, fantastic. Love everything about it. And now we have Nosferatu, which, granted, I'd say is the weakest of these 4 entries, but that's like saying, oh, so-and-so is the weakest member of the 1996 USA Olympic basketball team. I mean, it's still a freaking good movie. But it's not a perfect movie. The first hour is amazing. It just takes you on this beautiful gothic vampiric ride, and you're just in it 100%. It's terrifying. It's this, it's that. And then the middle to beginning of the end of the film, just kind of, at first you're like, okay. And then towards the end, you're like, okay, I need another encounter with Count Orlok, or I need this film to end right now because this is dragging on way too long. I would say in general, 2024, every single film could be cut by 20 minutes. I'm talking about Complete Unknown, Anora, Nosferatu, The Wild Robot. A lot of these films didn't have to be as long as they are, but hey, what are you going to do? But it feels like every film suffers from that curse where, yeah, 100%, this film could have been cut down. But still a solid entry by Bobby Eggs and his crew, so I give this a B+. Can't wait to watch it again. So I reviewed these 3 films together for a very important reason. It's that these 3 films and the people behind them were so dedicated to the physical, to the tangible. I'm talking about physical sets. I'm talking about practical effects, puppetry, great wardrobe, doing your own stunts and doing them live. I mean, all these things make a huge difference. We've been in this CGI sludge for the past 10, 15 years beyond, where these films have tried to get away with, oh, these actors in big green warehouses, and this is Frodo or Thor or whatever, act to the stick, and then kind of like that clip with poor Ian McKellen crying. I mean, I'm sure the actors feel a difference. I'm sure the directors feel a difference. So these 3 films, I mean, and it's amazing that they came out the same year, but these 3 films did such a good job of bringing that physicality to the screen. Your brain recognizes it, your soul recognizes it, and it's just a breath of fresh air. And we can start with Wicked. Wicked, I think, of these 3 did the best job. I think they had the biggest budget, but holy smokes, John Chu did the impossible, where he was so dedicated. And please, with all 3 of these films, watch the behind the scenes. It's all on YouTube. But just the dedication to having those physical sets. I mean, you have Munchkinland, Shiz, Oz, that 16-ton train. The wardrobes and costumes were incredible, and the makeup. I mean, Cynthia Erivo, that shade of green that they picked was just absolutely perfect. It was rich and dark, beautiful. Loved it. And Cynthia Erivo, I mean, holy cow. Her and Ariana Grande deciding to sing those songs live, huge difference. You can feel it. As well as Cynthia Erivo training and practicing and doing one of the biggest Broadway power ballads ever, Defying Gravity, in that harness while she's acting and singing it live. I mean, that's something to applaud, and one of the many elements that makes this film super special. And Fede Alvarez really put a lot of attention to detail in this film. I mean, the xenomorph, as you see there, coming out of the cocoon was the best sequence of the film, and it looked fantastic. I mean, when you look at the behind the scenes, they're using puppets, people in costumes, robots, animatronics, everything to make the xenomorph look amazing. And the xenomorph did look amazing, and so did the rest of the film. They had amazing set pieces where I think with sci-fi and fantasy, you can really try to get away with using CGI because, the set pieces and all that are so fantastical. But here, no, they built these sets. The spaceships and space station were all great looking models. The sets perfectly set the mood for the film. Amazing stuff. And Robert Eggers is a master of detail and making things look authentic. I mean, with the set pieces, we have Orlok's castle, which was an actual castle. We had real rats. We had real wolves chasing Nicholas Hoult. And just the set pieces, the design, even just down to the tiniest little detail, a bottle here, a little trinket here, a page here, Count Orlok's contract there. And the costume design's amazing. I mean, again, he makes all his films look great, and this is his best looking one yet. And obviously CGI is getting better and looking better, and there is a place for it to deliver those fantastical, impossible stories like Avatar or the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But I think there'll always be a place and there'll always be a space for this physical aspect of filmmaking to bring these stories to life, to add that truly tangible dimension to it. And that's why I wanted to highlight and honor these films for doing that and for bringing that to the screen, and to hopefully inspire other directors to do the same, to bring their stories to life. But with that, that's the end of this movie soup. What'd you think? What were your favorite physical aspects of these films? Put that in the comments section. I got another movie soup coming out for you here soon, hopefully, so stay tuned.